past 5 years. What made you want to go on Shark Tank and get that extra investment?
Yeah, so my motivation for Shark Tank was, we had always just been in Las Vegas primarily, and by going on Shark Tank, I wanted to get a strategic partnership with one of the sharks and an investment in the company as well in order to expand it to many more cities. And so we've basically been successful at doing that now. We now hold courses in many major cities across the US, 20, everywhere from New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Boston, Dallas. And so we've really been able to expand the company that way. We've also been able to expand our online SAT courses. That's been huge for us. We have many students from around the world taking our courses, including many students from India. And so we're really, really excited about the expansion and growth that we've gotten through getting an investment from billionaire Mark Cuban.
Sure. I want to talk a little more about your experience on the show. Can you tell us about, any highlights from your experience?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I was first on the show, for viewers that don't know, it's basically a show where entrepreneurs go on to pitch these multimillionaires and billionaires for an investment in their company to grow it. I was very, very overconfident, I should say, or maybe even cocky going into the show, thinking that I was going to get an investment or a deal from multiple sharks. But what ended up happening is most of the sharks were, while they were impressed with my business and the revenue I had done and the expansion that I had done, what they didn't like was the fact that I was both in medical school, business school, and running a business. So they thought I was sort of spread too thin.
They weren't convinced about your singular focus on your business per se. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they were really worried about, me having my focus in too many different places. So what happened during the show was, four sharks basically said no to an investment or a strategic partnership. And there was one shark left, which was Mark Cuban. And I was really worried during the show because Mark Cuban in the very beginning seemed sort of unimpressed and wasn't that interested. But luckily he came to my rescue, and not only did he say that he wanted to invest in 2400 Expert, but he also wants to invest in any future companies. So it was quite the ultimate compliment. It ended up working out because Mark Cuban was the billionaire that I wanted on my team at the beginning. So it was okay with me that I didn't get an investment from the other four sharks.
Sure. So how did you go about convincing him? Looks like you had a lot of resistance from the other investors, but what exactly did you say to Mark Cuban to eventually get him to strike a deal with you?
Yeah, I think Mark, he saw a lot of himself in me. So, it wasn't shown on the show, but I talked about how I went to college on a full scholarship because,
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Tanuja. Thanks for checking our YouTube channel. Subscribe to watch the latest interviews, ITV's coverage of feature events, and digital exclusives. And don't forget that you can get ITV on Time Warner, Cablevision, and RCN.